think we're about to go live. Hey everybody, this is Roy from Southeast Florida Paranormal. Your sound. Welcome to Paratrack TV. We're going to be showing you quite a few things here tonight. The thing we're going to be working on tonight is showing you how to make a simple IR light out of just a regular flashlight. We use them quite a bit on our handhelds. They're very handy, very simple to make, pretty basic. John's overdoing it right now, getting set up over there, as you can see. I've got Denise here with me tonight.
Good evening, everyone.
And Charlie.
Hello.
Let me type this in. There we go. So what he's doing right now is getting his equipment set up. We've used quite a bit of these flashlights on our investigations. They're actually very handy. They're fairly bright. Good for, of course, if you were outside, you know, in a cemetery or, you know, some type of outside setting, it wouldn't be all that powerful. Of course, with any IR lights, you always got to have some kind of a backdrop. If you don't have something in the background for it to reflect off of, you're just not going to get much of anything. You know, it just goes off into infinity anyway. But definitely inside a house, inside any type of building, these particular ones work great. What do you got going over there, John? You starting to get her set up? Oh,
yeah,
there you are. I can see you
the
now.
First gun didn't work. This one works. So.
There we go. All right, he's getting his. As you can see, the flashlight that he's got there that he's doing tonight, that's just basically a dollar store flashlight. Works off a couple AA batteries. Just a standard. Is that a regular bulb in that one, or is that one of the
incandescent bulb? That's a Dorsey torch.
Yeah, just a regular incandescent bulb in the thing, with one of the little Dorsey torches. In fact, we were using these at Captain Khan's not last weekend. I guess it was the weekend before. We stayed pretty darn busy. It's hard to keep track of the investigations. Sometimes we do a lot of investigations, and they all kind of run in together. But we actually used a few of these at Captain Khan's a couple weekends ago that we were with FPR doing a joint investigation over there. John has one of the little gun type video cams. It's got takes still pictures. Video cams are really very handy. We're going to buy 2 or 3 more of them and try to equip everybody on the team with them eventually, and put them in just basically what FPR is going to do, throw them in holsters. Yeah, but he keeps one of the flashlights mounted right on top of it. He just uses a little bit of what are you using, Velcro or Velcro. Yeah, Velcros it right to the top. Works great.
All right, gonna tell them about the gel.
You gonna use the gel on them ones?
Yeah, we're gonna tell them about this one because this one's the cheapest and the easiest one to make, because I'm pretty sure everybody out there that wants to make IR flashlights don't have a soldering gun that they can use. This is going to be the easiest and most effective.
Right.
And they can make them. They can make 10 of them, set them up in repeaters. If you got a big room or a long hallway, just set them up in different areas. You can light up the whole area. It's $1 a flashlight, and it's $3 a sheet for the gel sheet. So I mean, you can make a ton of them and just light up everything. But
now, you're using the 2 gel sheets though, the Congo blue and the pure red, right?
The primary red.
The primary red.
Yeah, you can't use any other color. I mean, you know, you might like the blueberry blue better, but it's not going to make IR light. So you
yeah, right. Yeah, no blueberry blue. So what's the gel sheet on that one? What do you say the 1 sheet of the pure red? What's the cost on that gel sheet?
These sheets I got from Parts Express. They were $2.65 a sheet.
$2.65 a sheet.
Yeah.
Of course, we can shop around. We might get them a little cheaper. You never know. We'll see. Do you know the link for that? What did you say? It's Parts Express.
Parts Express.
Well, PartsExpress.com. Throw that link in there, Denise, so people interested in checking out the gel sheets can actually try and get one. What the gel sheets are is they're basically just almost like a plastic sheet, and they're colored. But you do have to have the right color combinations for the IR to work on them. You want the primary red, the pure red one, and you also want the Congo blue. Them sheets you got there, what do they come in, John? The 8x11s, like picture frame size?
Yeah, 8x10.
Yeah, 8x10s.
But we've already made how many flashlights out of these 2 sheets?
Out of them 2, oh, Jesus, I think we've probably made almost a dozen IR flashlights out of them 2 sheets. Pretty amazing how many you could get. And you can use these on almost any flashlight. Now we have found out that with the LED flashlights, the gel sheets don't work. Putting the filters on them doesn't work like they do on the regular bulbs. They're too dim. They don't put out enough light. Not at all. And it's because of what the LED lights are made out of. They're actually a yellow light when you look at them, when you take them apart. So this is just a regular flashlight. You'll see here in a minute how quick you can cut this cookie cutter this thing right out of there. Works great. Now you're going to be showing them how to take apart the other thing tonight too, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool.
Now, depending on how bright the flashlight is, you may have to double or triple stack the lens. This particular flashlight, we only have to triple stack it.
Can they hear him good? Can everybody hear him when he's talking over there all right? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, great.
Like I said,
I got my speakers down so I can't hear.
Yeah, like I said, it depends on how bright say you had a mini mag that's really bright.
Right.
And you can open it to narrow or flood.
Right, exactly.
And it puts out a lot of light. You may want to triple stack these.
Yeah, go a little heavier with your filters.
Yeah, it just depends on your flashlight, and it's something that you're going to have to experiment with.
Yeah, that is true. We've tried them on like the mag lights, where you can zoom in and zoom out and really make a wide beam with your light. Even the mini mag lights really throw a wide beam when they're on top of a camcorder. But sometimes what we have to do is add either an extra red or extra blue, or 2 blues, 2 reds together, and on the brighter flashlights. But it still comes out great, let me tell you. When you compare what we go out and pay, what everybody's paying right now for like the SEMAs or whatever they are, the ones with I think it's like 9 IR lights in it. I've got a few of them. They're battery operated. You got to charge the darn things. They only last you the smaller ones. What do they last? About 40 minutes, 45 minutes at tops. It takes about 4 hours to recharge the darn things. These little jobs that he's making right there are every bit as bright. And the nice thing is they're AA batteries. You can just dump a couple extra batteries in your flashlight and you're ready to go. You're not down for 4.5 hours, no IR.
What they need to do, also, they need to know need to get plastic like this, because you're going to have to sandwich the filter in between your original lens. So you're going to have to make you another lens to go between the filters and this lens.
Right, because the original...
because if not, it'll just be flopping around.
Right, exactly. It'll move around. You know what he's talking about? What he's saying is he's cutting out of a clear piece of plastic, packing plastic, whatever. Just a rigid, clear plastic. Everything comes into stuff. It's hard to get out of. Most times hard to get stuff out of it. He's just cutting an extra little lens to put over top of it to hold everything down tighter. Now, we actually have used some of these flashlights out in cemeteries and whatnot just to see how they work. And I would say, what do you think the range is on most of them little jobs? What do you think, about 25 feet?
Yeah, depending if you got trees to bounce off of.
Yeah, it does depend on what you got behind you, but...
yeah, about 15 to 25.
About between 15 and 25 feet, depending on the size of the flashlight that you're making. That one he's making there, that's probably... with your normal IR light that's on your cam, if you're using the Sonys, I like the old Sony the Sony 8mm myself. Great cams. The nice thing about them is you can stream live. We used them at Captain Conn's. In fact, that's what the cams we were using there was, the roving cams. One of the first times we've really done that. Ian had one set up in one room there on a tether. I think he had about a 20-foot or 25-foot USB extension. I was using a 33-foot USB extension on mine. We were both using the Sony 140s. And what a cool thing that was. I had one of these flashlights like he's working with right there, hooked up on top of mine, and thing worked like a charm.
How's it look, Roy?
It's pretty bright up there. It looks pretty darn good.
Well, the good thing about the Congo Red, the primary red, is if you just wanted a regular flashlight for your red so your night focus stays in, you can also use the primary red and just use that.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things I hate most on investigations. Let me tell you, people walk around with flashlights, man, and they're whipping them around everywhere. If you got your cam set up, it just plays heck on you. Everything's auto-focusing in and out constantly.
And it blinds your teammates.
Yeah, it blinds everybody. Most of our flashlights, we take the red filters and throw right over every one of them. Don't affect your cams at night, and it don't affect everybody's eyes. So that's a good way to get you to trip, is shine a flashlight in your face.
These are small and light enough too. They can be on board on your camera, so just any cameras.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean them little bitty flashlights there. When you Velcro one of them little jokers right to the top of your cam, you don't even notice it's there. Not even at all. Do you have your gun cam with you, John, or no?
No.
No, you didn't bring it? Okay, that's cool. I was going to show them what that little thing looked like. That's a nice little setup. So that one's got both filters in it?
Yep.
Let me see that thing.
Let me go turn this thing off out here real quick, please.
Let me see if I can show you this here. Hand me that Sony right there, babe.
This one.
Yeah, hand me that Sony cam. Let me see if you guys can see this. I don't know. I hope. Yeah, there we go. This thing's on night vision. Looks like it. Yes, it is. I don't know if I can see this or not. Let me get a little closer to that camera. Here, you know what, John? Why don't you do that? Hold that thing up to that camera and put that light on so they can see that thing. I don't know if they'll be able to see that or not.
Somebody wants to know if they can use red cellophane in place.
Yeah,
of
can you tell? Can you guys see that light going across that thing? Oh, I guess they can. Yeah, it gets bright as hell. Here you go. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it on the thing.
Well, the problem is that there is heat generated from those lights, even though they are LED. Cellophane may not be a good idea.
No, you can't use the cellophane. The cellophane, it'll melt on you. And not only that, it's not.
There is glare. Like Scotty makes the point, it also glares.
Well, and it's not really thick enough. Your light's is gonna cut right through the cellophane. The gel sheets needs to be, it's a certain thickness to begin with.
This is what they use in movie houses.
Right, they use it exactly. They use it in theaters, movies. It's made actually for video production, and made for lights. It's not that awful expensive. You can order it right off the internet. A couple days, 3 or 4 days, you'll get all the sheets you want of it. And let me tell you, out of one sheet of the Congo and one sheet of the red, Jesus, the small lights right there, you could probably make a dozen of them. No problem at all. Then you want to step up to the bigger lights, the lanterns that the old big 6-volt batteries go into. We've made a few of them. That's a heck of a torch when you do it that way. Let me tell you, it's a little bit heavier though, but if you're trying to light up a room, you can set them on tables. Set a couple of them babies on tables around here and there. You can light a room up right cheap like. Now we're also going to be eventually showing you here how to make other types of IR lights. We've got so many different IR lights that we work on. Alright, so you got them flashlights there, you showed them right quick like. They were pretty simple though. I mean, all that is basically cutting out plastic.
Yeah, that's most user friendly because, like I said, not everybody out there has a soldering iron.
Exactly. Well, not everybody's even knows how to use the soldering iron. I mean, it's just something that if you ain't never done it, but it's pretty simple. I mean, it's very simple stuff to learn how to do. What'd it take you, John? About 6 months we had you soldering over there? You know,
right, you know.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, cramping up.
Yeah, first 3 or 4 months you stop burning yourself.
Yeah, I burnt my first pad up, didn't I?
Yeah, right. So now what are you going to show them how to do over there now?
What we're going to show them how to do now is how to take a regular LED flashlight. This one has only 3 LEDs. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this flashlight true and invisible IR. You're not going to see the red glow out of this. And what we're going to make it out of, this flashlight costs $1. And what we're going to make it out of is the IRs out of remote control.
Yeah, so now that's the one thing about the other one that he just made. It is an IR flashlight. Your cams will all pick it up, but it's not true IR. In other words, you can see the glow of the light. Now, granted, if you're more than, say, 25, 30 feet away, you're not going to see the glow at all. I mean, you're going to see a very dim glow. It's not like, you know, it's a bright, but what he's making here now, the flashlight that he's going to show you now is a true IR, and
They're going to need it for the mod that we're going to show them on the camera.
right, exactly. This thing works really nice, and he's going to once he gets this done, he'll demonstrate how it works on a camera that he's modified over there. These ones here, the funny thing about them is sometimes the only way we know we've got them turned off is to flash them in front of our camera, because you can't see if it's on or off. You know, we went through quite a few batteries by putting them away with the lights still on. Then we sort of figured out we might better check it with a camera and make sure that the light's actually off.
Well, we have a really, really good crowd in here tonight.
Oh, I wasn't even looking at the chat thing either. Let me see what you got.
We have Red Menace from FPR in the house.
Oh, I got some batteries for her somewhere.
We have Joe from FPR in the house. We have Hurricane Ian from FPR. We have Trip from Southeast Georgia, from South Georgia Paranormal, in here with us tonight. We have John's wife, Mary.
I didn't know I was married.
We have, who else do we have in here?
Astronomy there.
We have astronomy lover. We have Nicholas Hall.
No, you're jumping.
Space Nut. Diggy with
Let's see what you
FPR.
What are you doing? Taking that thing apart now, John?
Yeah, we've melted the IRs, the IR lights out of the remote. Now what we're going to do is take
We have Scotty and Steve, and of course Misty.
Can you see how
Dawn
easy
from
that was for him to
PTN?
take the IR lights right out of that remote? Basically, all you do is just heat them up. They slip right out. And you're probably best to use a pair of tweezers when you pull them out of there, though, because they're a little bit hot. But they come out so simple. Everybody's got remotes laying around, let me tell you. John went to work the other day. He come home with a bag full of remotes. He dropped them off by here. He's been hitting everybody up at work for their old remotes. We must have had 20 or 30 of them around this house, man, let me tell you. We got remotes for stuff I ain't had in 5 years, so they're pretty easy to come by. Now, you can order IR lights offline, too. We've ordered some really nice IR lights offline, but for simple stuff you want to make and make it cheap, tell your neighbors cough up their old remotes. You know, that's how we get ours. Can you see your holes there? You want my reading glasses?
No, I just need to see which the side is positive and negative on the
Positive's the plus side.
and yeah, buddy.
Thanks, Joe.
No, actually, because if you don't, it won't work.
Yeah, that is true. The lights have to go in the right way. You have to hook them up to positive, negative to negative.
Nicholas says, "Nice one, Dad."
The reason I have a hard time doing that stuff is I
You're
just can't,
blind.
yeah, I know, I can't see that small little stuff anymore. I know how to do it all. I just can't see it. But John's got young eyes. He's good at it. Good. Yeah, I know, right? Oh. him on this computer here, see what he's doing. I like watching him burn his fingers every now and then. Looks like he's heating it back up, getting ready to start dropping some lights back in. It's so simple to do. You just pop the lights out of the remote and just pop them right into the old sockets on the flashlight. And if you don't know how to do it yourself, I mean, geez, it's always somebody you can find that knows how to solder. Or if you hit us on the contact
Somebody
form.
asked me if I did something on Facebook. Its chat is going really fast. We have an excellent crowd in here tonight, guys.
How's it coming over there? You getting her?
All the lights are out.
There you go. Alright, he's got all the lights out of the board on the flashlight itself. Probably letting it cool down for a second.
Well, once we get them out, we want to test them and make sure that they work.
Well, yeah. Before you actually pop them in the flashlight board, you want to test every light to make sure that it's still operable, or that it actually was a good one that was in the remotes, because you can't really see them too well. So what he does is he hooks them up to a battery, and
Button cell.
a little button cell, like what goes in a watch or whatever, and then he has a camera over there that he's modified. It was just a regular, everyday, ordinary camera. We took the IR filter out of it, so it will see IR now. It pulls it up perfect, and what he did, he just hits the little lights on the button cell, brings it in front of his camera, and he can tell immediately if it's working.
Let's see, Roy.
Oh yeah, I can see it. It's hard to with that light up on that desk there to see in the camera, but I've seen it flash a little bit.
Uh-oh.
You got enough room there?
Yeah, I dropped the green board.
Uh-oh. That was a good one? Looked like a good one. Looked like it was lighting up.
Yeah, don't try to do this with a 9-volt battery
No.
or any other kind of battery because it will explode.
Yeah, exactly. You want to use the little watch batteries. What are them, like 1.4s or 1.3s
Yeah, this
or
is a
something?
3-volt.
Yeah, a little 3-volt watch battery or whatever. You know, the little button batteries.
Oh, someone's asking about Ghost Box technology.
We
can
will
do
be.
that.
That's going to be a couple shows down the road. I can't be giving out all my secrets here right now, though, because then you guys won't come back.
We know how to do it.
But we are going to be making some, showing you how to make the Ghost Box. They're so simple, it's amazing. And then we'll, few shows down from that one we got planned, we're going to show you how to tweak out some Ghost Boxes to make them a little better than what the standard thing is. Eventually we'll be showing you how to tweak out a little bit of everything here. Everything from modifying your K2 meters, installing a flashlight into them, installing a switch into them, working with digital recorders, Frank's box. We got quite a few white noise experiments that we're working on right now.
At this if we could take a moment now, this is a good time to plug June 26th.
Yeah, exactly. June 26th, we got big multi-team investigation coming up at Clewiston Inn. What's going to make this one special is also out in Texas at the same time we're going to be simulcasting the SPI, Southern
SPI
Paranormal.
has a location. It's
Trip
going to
and
be
the girls out there.
In conjunction with Wide Awake Paranormal.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Wide Awake Paranormal is going to be out there with them also. And we're going to have another team with us at Clewiston, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean,
Ian,
of course, FPR is going to be there, but there's going to be another team. They said, right?
I believe Ian said. Correct me if I'm wrong. There
Big
in
Lake?
the chat, Ian. Did you say Big Lake
Big Lake Paranormal, I believe. I forget the two founders of that group, but I know we've met them a couple times out at Ortona. Ortona is one of the places where we do a lot of our training at. In fact, we do most of our training at Ortona. It's a pretty good site, about an hour and a half, about a little over an hour from here, but it's worth the ride.
During our Clewiston investigation, we are going to be setting up some of the equipment that we are working on here and that we're going to be teaching you to use. We actually have a specific experiment that Roy and I are writing and have been working on that we're going to be setting up. And Roy, you want to talk about that a little bit?
You talking about the one with the EMF pumps?
With the EMF pumps, and
yeah,
maybe in conjunction with some blue light.
Yeah, that's we're going to be trying an experiment. We've got a room there at Clewiston that, for some reason, every time we last 3 or 4 times we've went there, we've got the key to the room, but we keep forgetting to go in the darn thing. And this particular time, we're going in there. I want to set up a little experiment in there with our blue lights. We've done a lot of blue light experiments with Ian and the fellows and everybody from FPR over there, and the blue light experiments have worked out great. We always get a lot more activity with the blue lighting. We flood a room with pure blue light. We tried all the different spectrums of light. Blue seemed to be the best one that everybody's finally agreed on. And what I want to do, this is a smaller room. I want to flood it with the blue light and then throw a couple of my EMF pumps in there that we've been making. We've got a couple of pumps that we've made where I would say 10, 12, 15 feet away it's pegging out our K2 meters, which is pretty darn good, let me tell you. That's a pretty good EMF pump. I've tried some of the other ones that are out there on the markets, and they ain't nearly as strong. Sometimes you got to actually take a meter and tap it on the pump to be able to see if it's actually working, you know. This one here, after it runs for about 5 minutes in the room, your hair starts standing on end, so you know this baby's working. And we're wanting to put a couple of them in the room and see what it does. And one of the things we're working on these pumps is making it pulsate. We're hooking it up so that it's not just a steady pump out all the time. We're wanting it to where it comes out and burst. That way it sort of hits the room. We'll see how that comes out. And that's going to be a live broadcast also at Clewiston. We're going to have the same roving cams that we had at Captain Conn's. I'm sure Ian's going to have his hooked up. I know I'm going to have mine hooked up. If I can get another USB cable, another 33-footer in time, we'll have 3 of them cams hooked up. That'll be they're the best things I've seen so far. The way we did it at Captain Conn's, where you can actually follow the investigator right around, as you know, or the group of investigators around with the cam, and it follows the investigation a little bit better. You know, I mean, we've always got our statics up, hanging up, you know, viewing the whole room, but there's nothing like following the investigators around while they're actually doing their sweeps. You're awfully quiet, Charlie.
She's doing a great job here in the chat.
Oh, is that what she's doing? Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's helping me man and moderate chat and make sure everybody's getting acknowledged. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
I was wondering. She's being awfully quiet over there.
She's doing an excellent job. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mama.
John's steadily working over there. They ain't giving you a hard time, are they?
And Nicholas is laughing about something, I don't know what.
Now, we are going to be throwing some of this stuff. If you can't, you know, you don't think you can make this kind of stuff on your own and you like it, I am going to be throwing some of this stuff up on my website store. It's going to be cheap, believe me, because it's cheap to make. And we ain't looking to make a lot of money off our website store. Mostly it just goes for buying new equipment and trying to help pay for trips, let me tell you. I think this past year already, what are we into June now? I think I've been in a motel somewhere 2 nights out of every month. Sometimes more than that.
More than that. And we've been doing a lot of air mattress surfing.
Oh
too.
God, let me tell you what. If it wasn't for Gary and Red
right,
last
yeah,
weekend, Lord have mercy, that would have been a $300
not
weekend.
not just this past weekend. We've really got to give kudos to Virginia and Gary Walters from FPR. They've become our home away from home on the West Coast, and they've been amazingly warm and hospitable.
Well, we
and
stayed over there the weekend before that.
We-
Well,
we-
John stayed over there with us.
Yeah,
I
That's right.
appreciate
Yes.
the couch. That was nice.
Let me tell you.
Mary says that you have a bed for us too, John.
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as we blow it up. No, you know what? We got the rollaway. She's absolutely right.
Somebody
Uh-huh.
said about how much it how much it costs financially to do this kind of stuff. Let me tell you, man.
Oh, it'll
Um,
drain you if you're not careful.
People don't, they don't realize, when they join a team and whatnot, and they think, oh, this is going to be so much fun. Let me tell you what. It is a
It's
lot of
not
fun. And one of the reasons you got to have a real passion for this kind of stuff is because it ain't cheap,
It's
man.
a major investment to make a team a going concern.
Well, if you're really an active team, I mean, and you're out there all the time, just going, it does. It's well, of course, for one thing, it's tiring. Let me tell you. But we've been. Well, last month, I guess it was, we were in St. Augustine twice. We were at Fort Myers once or twice. It seemed like once or twice. Or over in Clewiston.
in the last 6
um,
weeks, we've been to Cape
Jesus.
Coral 3 times.
Yeah. We were up by Casadega one time there. We were staying in a motel last
Mary
month.
points out we've made several trips to Ortona.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Let me tell you.
We've had a private in Coral Springs, one in Davie, one in Delray. All of those are ongoing and continuing private cases.
Well, and then we had one downtown here. It's a little overwhelming at times, but I wouldn't never trade it for anything. Who wants to go to St. Augustine?
Me.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, you have to click up.
Yeah, I know. We are. I'm also working on. Oh, that's right. We also have an ongoing private in St. Augustine that I am working on the homeowner with to. What we're trying to do is set up a 48-hour investigation on this location and do a live broadcast from there. But because we want to, this place is so active and there are so many opportunities there, trying to set it up so that it's a camp out.
Yeah, we have a property that we're working on in St. Augustine. We were there a few weeks back. I don't know, maybe it's a month back. It's hard to keep track. But we did do a short broadcast from there. We broke in on Saturday Night Paranormal and did a short interview. But we got to go back to the place. We picked up enough evidence while we were there. I'll tell you what, that we're going to go back and spend an entire weekend there, and I want to get everything set up and hopefully do a long broadcast from the place. It was pretty amazing. We had one investigator actually get a piece of equipment knocked out of his hand, and the piece of equipment probably landed about 6 feet away from him, and just totally caught him off guard. Wasn't expecting it at all. Felt like something smacked the bottom of his hand, and the meter that he had in his hand went flying. EVPs like there's no tomorrow. We were picking up residual, what sounded like music playing, and it was, I would say, 60s country music, and just a lot of crazy stuff going on there. That place has a very rich history. Of course, it's in St. Augustine, you know, and
large roving. We've also picked up large roving EMF.
Yeah,
free roving EMF fields.
Yeah, very wild piece of land there, and we're hoping to get that set up here. Of course, we got so many things going on. We got Clewiston coming up, the big multi-team investigation there. Then after that, I don't know what we got. What do we got after Clewiston? I know the Ghost Gathering's coming up.
Clewiston. After Clewiston, we have that private with Harry Walters
we have a private that we're going to
Virginia.
Yeah.
That'll be 4th of July weekend.
Well,
we also have another trip up to St. Augustine.
Well, that's when we go back up to St. Augustine. That's when we want to.
No, we have probably 2 trips to St.
We have
Augustine
another
before that
before
one,
that one?
because
Oh my God.
keep in mind we want to do a camp out, so when we do that one I want to set it up for cooler weather,
Yeah,
so
buddy,
we don't
let me
all
tell ya.
die out there without electricity. in
Well,
the
so that
field.
one's going to be a little ways off.
That
one'll
one's
be-
a little ways off, but we do have 2 other trips coming up to St. Augustine.
That
in
might be a good one
July
for
and
Halloween.
August. In October, well, Halloween we may have something else to do. We're talking with Virginia over at FPR about a charity event in September.
How you doing there, John? Look like you're taping her back up or something. Getting ready to check it?
What else do we have going on?
You want to turn that spotlight off on you
Again,
there?
we have the
These
ongoing
batteries over here any
privates.
good?
I don't know.
And we have somebody asking about static cameras.
What's
James
the question?
And Sherry's asking how they work.
How static
I
cameras
don't know what
work?
the question is.
I
You're
don't
zipping
understand.
back and forth. Here, let me see it. Let's see if I can find it.
Let me go back and find it. James and Sherry, how does the static camera work?
Yeah, actually, I see the one. Isn't St. Augustine the oldest city in Florida? Actually, it's the oldest city in the United States. What?
Answer the question.
I am answering that question.
No, how does the static camera work? That was the question.
Yeah, okay. Well, any camera is a static camera, and once you mount it, you sit it in place. When I was talking before about our statics, what I was talking about is our DVR cams. When we have a room covered with... One thing about working with FPR, I don't know how many teams out there has had the pleasure, but Ian generally runs about 18 cams on his DVR systems. So you got plenty of coverage. But then we also, just about everybody's carrying a handheld video cam also. But static cams are basically any cam that's fixed. You know what I mean? In a fixed spot. You can take a regular handheld cam, put it on a tripod, and throw it in the corner. It's a static cam. Or you can use the DVR cams.
Scotty says she thinks 18 cameras is awesome, and yes, it absolutely is, but it's also a daunting job. A lot of work goes into putting up 18 static cams.
Yeah, we don't always run that many, but a lot of times we do. But I've seen us run, I think, more than that. I don't know how many we ran last year at the American Victory over in Tampa. I lost count.
I think it was 28 cameras.
Yeah, I know.
we ran.
I kind of lost count. There was cameras everywhere. But yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? When you go, it's just like what Gary says. When you go fishing, you can either throw a little bitty net or you can throw a big net if you want to catch all the fish. And that's the way to go. The bigger the net, the more evidence you're going to collect. And it works better all the way around, let me tell you. And then having everybody, or at least on every sweep, somebody with a handheld cam. You can't get enough coverage. There's no doubt about it. You can ask FPR about the coverage with cams. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's overkill, too many cams." That's not an IR thing up there. You can just barely see that.
Well, that's because it has an IR filter in the camera.
Yeah, yeah.
If I didn't have an IR filter in it, that would be bright.
But you can show it on your camera, though. Yeah. If you turn that, flip the switch on that little spotlight there beside you, you might be able to see it better.
up at the top.
I don't know if that's how bright that thing is. Now you might be able to see it on the cam. Now can y'all see that when he drags it across there? How it's lighting up that screen? It's kind of hard to see in the room, you know, when you're not, especially with my,
Would it be better on this one?
I don't know, my HD cams aren't.
Yeah, look at that. That is lighting it up.
Yeah,
See
my
how that lights it up?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a bit of a delay, so.
That's a little
Yeah.
delay on yours, huh? The HD cams don't really pick up IR light, but you can see how his LCD screen there just blanks right out. Them little babies work like crazy. They're not bad at all. That's pretty much how you make a couple IR flashlights quick. You've seen how quick he made both of them. One of them he actually changed the the LED lights in them, took them out of a couple of remote controls, threw them right into a flashlight. Simple. Takes about 15-20 minutes, and you've got, and that was 3 lights. That's only a 3-light IR system in that flashlight now, which for the average room, you go into a room that's, say, I don't know, 25 by 15 or 25 by 20 or whatever, you can see pretty darn good in that room. We've used these lights in a house here that we train at quite a bit in West Palm. We have 2 main training areas that we use. One of them is an old home, and another one is a cemetery. And we try out our different equipment at both of them. The cemetery's out in the middle of nowhere where it's pitch black, and the house that we go to has no power in it, no running water. So we can try out lots of different equipment. We try out all of our IR illuminators, our Frank's box, our white noise generators, EMF pumps we've been trying out in there, our EVP listeners, a little bit of everything. Any questions on there right now, Ben?
Not at the moment. Everybody is just saying how awesome and how sweet that flashlight is.
Yeah, it is. Let me tell you, they're pretty darn cool. They work great. I mean, it's kind of hard to see over these lights here. I'm going to get my IR cameras hooked up here and running my Sony's to be able to broadcast on. Problem is, right now I have to go back to Windows 98 or Windows Vista. Windows 7, the drivers don't work on the darn things. Hopefully Microsoft or somebody, Sony One, will get their butts in gear and start putting the drivers out for these older cams. We love using the older 8mm cams. They're the best there is. The IR lights are a whole lot brighter. They stream live video, crystal clear pictures, audio's great. Now, you can't beat them. There's no doubt about it. Now, one of the things like we was talking about we're going to be doing, we're also going to be making some little more powerful IR lights, showing you how to make them on one of the shows that work off of 120, where you actually, if you've got power in the location where you're working at, where you can throw some 120 IR lights out there. I've got a few of them that we use. I don't know if I got them sitting out. They're in cases right now. But you talk about lighting a room up. You throw some big 10mm IR lights on something, and that baby's bright. These are, what are them IR lights you're getting out there? What are them, like the 5s, I think? Them ones you're getting?
Oh, I have no idea.
I think them are the 5s.
You want one?
Yeah, let me see a little booger.
Hey, Roy.
Yes.
Monster Vision TV has a question.
Yeah, what's
Says,
that?
how much success have you found with the magnetic pickups?
We've used them quite a bit. They're not. They're all right. We haven't experimented, extensively with the magnetic pickups, but we have been using them. Not as much as some of the other stuff we're using. We've got so many different things going on, the different types of stuff that we're working on and experimenting with. And there's oodles more out there, there's just so much more out there. We're working on some EMF pumps that we're using magnets with on a perpetual motion type device.
Okay, Rob from Pensacola wants to know, will this work with fluorescent lights or just regular ones?
We've never used, you talking about for the filters?
Fluorescent is gas.
Yeah, the fluorescent, we don't use the fluorescence because it's a gas type bulb and it puts out a different type light. It's totally different all the way. What he's talking about for making with the filters, I don't think it would work quite right because of the type of bulb it is. We just use the regular, what are they, kryptonite bulb or krypton bulbs, whatever they call them. They come in a regular flashlight.
Red from FPR wants to know how many batteries do we have to take on an investigation. Well, the answer to that question is if Red is with us or not. If Red's with us, I need a half a case.
No, actually, I see I see that. No, we are putting lights into meters. We'll be showing you how to do that. How you convert? You can take an old standard K2, throw a light in one end to use as a flashlight. How to put the switches in them so you don't have to put a quarter in the button. It's all pretty easy to do. I mean, it's very simple stuff. A lot of times, you know, a guy don't even think about doing stuff until somebody brings it up, and then he's like, Jesus, you know, why didn't I think about that? You know, we have simple ways we get power out to places where we don't have any power. We run our DVR systems in houses where there's no electric. We don't use generators. Generators, I don't care how far you stretch your extension cord out, you're going to get that hum if you've got any kind of good microphones on your digital recorders, and you're going to pick it up on your cameras. A lot of different things we're going to be showing you, a lot of tricks that we use. Some of them may be stuff you guys already do, you know, but there's a lot of stuff that I know a lot of people will be like, oh my God, I should have been doing that all along. And hopefully we'll be getting some other teams to come on here and tell us some of their tricks. We can either Skype them right in, Uvu them in, however we got to do it. Would love to have some different teams get a hold of us, some of their techie guys, and let us know what they're working on. Maybe they can teach us some tricks. Maybe they can make it easier for us on some things. Why should anybody spend 10 or 15 hours working on something when somebody else has already figured out how to do it the easy way? You know, and that's what it's all about, sharing information anyway. We're only going to figure stuff out quicker that way, that's for darn sure.
We want the cool stuff, the evidence.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly what we want. It's stuff that works so we can get better evidence. What's that say?
Rob wants to know if we need Skype 5.0. No, we have that.
I don't know. I think
we already are using that.
Yeah, you know, I gotta keep putting my reading glasses on. Oh, the fella from Monster TV. Yeah, man. Let me tell you, the only way you're gonna advance in this field is by sharing.
Right.
It's too many businesses out there and different things, man. They want to keep everything to themselves like it's some kind of big secret. Please.
That work motto is progress through cooperation, not competition.
If I'm trying some kind of an experiment and it works, I don't care who I tell. I mean, what's the difference? Maybe the person I tell will figure out how to do it even better and make it even more successful. That's the only way we're going to succeed in this business. We can't be like everybody else and try to hold back, you know, and, oh, this is all so secret. No, man.
Right.
That's one of the things we like working about with FPR. You got all their techies over there, Dave and Mans and everybody, always figuring new stuff out. And now they got Rusty helping throw in there with stuff.
Oh, and don't forget Gary with the cutting edge technology.
Yeah, Gary's always coming up with ideas too, you know.
And also an infinite source of computer technology and know-how.
Yeah, you know, and that's what makes it so much. That's what's great about being in this network here. Now we got what? Big Lakes jumping in, Wide Awake Paranormal out there. We got Trip.
In South Georgia Paranormal.
Yeah, you know, everybody start sharing ideas back and forth. We'll figure this thing out one of these days, and it won't take as long, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Trip, we love you too.
And when he's talking about sharing the technology, the other day I seen one of the Frank's boxes on the internet, $70. So I can't wait to show them how to make it.
What's that now? I didn't hear you.
They were talking about the Frank's box.
Oh,
box.
yeah.
I seen it for $70. $70.
Yeah, you know, you go. I know, right?
And we show you how to
And
do it.
Red says we share homes too. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
You know, we're all part of the Air Mattress Surfing Network.
Yeah, what he was talking about there.
Have sleeping bag will travel.
Yeah, he was just talking about the Frank's boxes. About seeing them on eBay for $70. Man, you can make this thing. What's it cost? Like $20, $15 or something?
I think they're like $29 at Radio Shack.
Yeah, you know.
6 screws, and you got to do one thing, and we'll show you how to do it. So.
And that's of course the I think I've seen them on sale over there, cheaper than that different times. Yeah, it's so many pieces of equipment a guy can make himself if he just gives it a shot. And we will be going through a lot of different things. We're going to be doing Frank's boxes, like we said, bigger IR systems, illuminators where you can light up entire rooms. I don't know how many of you have ever been to, like, say, the Clewiston Inn, the main dining room. It's pretty big. What is the Clewiston Inn dining room? By about 45 by 45 or something like that, give or take. We've got illuminators we're working on that'll light the whole room up. And also listening devices. We're working on microphones that we're going to be pumping up so that you can, if a mouse runs across the floor, you're going to hear him. We're incorporating or working on tweaking out, like I say, the K2 meters.
Charlene, would you throw our links up there, please?
We're
Sure will.
going to show you how to modify a regular camera so that it'll pick up IR. John's been using the one that he's got over there during the daytime, and it almost looks like very similar to a full spectrum camera when he's taking pictures with it in the daytime. And the pictures come out kind of the same under the IR lights. It almost looks like full spectrum to me. Another thing we're going to be showing you is the different filters we use for taking IR pictures during the daytime. I like to do a lot of IR photography in the daylight. I don't know how many of you have ever been on my Facebook account, either mine or Southeast Florida's Facebook account. I think Denise has some of the pictures on her Facebook account. But on mine, I have a lot of the IR photos that I take in the daytime. I probably took about 50 of them over at Woodlawn Cemetery here locally in West Palm. They come out amazing looking. You throw the I like using from about 850 up on the filters. I'm also experimenting with different types of colors in the IR filters that we're using. There's buku things out there that we're trying. We just try everything. And some of it works, some of it don't. But the only way you're going to figure things out is to keep trying. You know, you just got to keep trying everything. The EMF pumps that we're developing.
Those are experimental stage, so we gotta make them, test them.
Right,
have
exactly.
other people make them and test them and find out which one works the best.
Exactly.
Which one gets the results. So.
Well, that's one of the things we're hoping that people will do, and other guys on other teams will do. When they see stuff that we're thinking about and working on, make it yourself and see if you can't tweak it out and make it even better. And then let us know. You know, if you can make it, tweak it and make it do something better, let us know, man, because
and then
make it cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. Make it cheaper or better or whatever. The only way we're going to get ahead is everybody keeps trying and trying. I know over at FPR, they're going like crazy over there on stuff constantly. And we've tried a few of their designs on tweaking stuff out. Some of them's worked pretty darn good so far. They've got one thing there that they make, their temperature probe, where they, it almost looks like a set of rabbit ears he made there.
Right.
I forget exactly what it was he made it out of, but I know it was pretty darn cool and it worked great. You could follow cold spots around a room with this thing like there's no tomorrow. It was very, very cool.
Okay, all you guys with teams out there that are in the chat, jump in and put up your websites, plug yourselves a little
Oh
bit.
yeah, definitely. Throw all your websites out
So-
there, and any of the PTN shows or any other shows you got, throw them out there so everybody sees them. PTN's a great network. We watch a lot of shows on there, let me tell you. To make sure you get all your links in, and hopefully oh my god, they did get their links in.
Yeah, they are. Go Randy. Hi, Trip.
Whew.
Drop Dead Steve, Steve from Echoes from Beyond, dropdeadpromotions.com.
Well, I hope you guys, you know, that the little bit of stuff that we showed you here tonight, just to sort of wet your whistle a little bit, you know.
Gary says, thank you, Roy.
Who's Gary?
Gary,
Oh,
Gary.
well, all right, never mind. I know who he is.
What's our Facebook link?
Southeast Florida Paranormal.
But yeah, I mean, I hope this little bit of the little bit of lights there that he showed you
Through the email, SEFP@comcast.net.
sort of wet your whistle a little bit and let you know that we're going to be coming out with a lot more stuff here. This was just our first little taste. Some simple IR lights with filters, changing out some LED lights. Maybe a lot of you guys are already doing it, but you know, if you haven't been, it's something to try. You don't have to be all that technically inclined to do it. Anybody can cut out filters. And the LED lights, I know, are a little bit more advanced, but please, it just takes practice. If you burn yourself a little bit once in a while, you know, do like I do and let somebody else do it, and then you can sit back and laugh. You know, it works good. You know.
I didn't burn myself
No, not too awful much.
today.
Uh-oh, I think it's time to...
It's 10:01.
Alright, well, I guess that's about it for tonight. It's 10:01, and now eventually we're going to be extending this. Probably, I don't know if we're going to be coming on earlier or staying on you know, a little bit later. We haven't quite figured out which way we want to go with it. But we'll probably be pumping it up after a while to a little longer time. Because some of the stuff we're going to be showing, there's no doubt about it, it's going to take a little bit longer to make. And Denise is pretty chatty, so we have to give her an extra. You know? And Charlie is too.
And
you know,
Nicholas is laughing again.
But I'm glad to see everybody come in tonight. Geez, it looks like a lot of people was here.
Red says, come on earlier, Roy, or stay later.
Yeah, right.
Or
Well,
maybe do both.
well, yeah, you know, we'll one of the two. Because eventually what we want to start doing is showing you some video clips of us actually using some of this stuff that we make.
And Nick says Charlie talks too much.
We'd like to show you some clips, though,
Thanks, Trip. We
Of us
enjoyed
actually-
having you.
of us actually using the equipment on investigations. And, you know, if we get any evidence we collect while we're using the equipment, we'd like to show some short clips of that also. Like I say, though, we're going to be showing you some listening devices that we're working on, where you can take standard digital recorders and pump them up, so that you can just pick up just about anything with the darn things. We're going to be doing it with adjustable mics, so you can tone them down a little bit to the sensitivity that you actually want. If you just want it to be strong in a room, or if you want to hear, you know, depending on how big the room you're working in, doing your recordings on. So there is, like I say, there's a lot of stuff we're going to be showing you. And thanks everybody for watching us tonight. Definitely a great crowd. Thanks to Ian for helping us out here tonight. He's always a big help to us all the time. Sometimes I guess I don't know if he knows how much we appreciate it, but he's always helping us out. That's for darn sure. We definitely appreciate it. I think that's about it. All right, thanks everybody.
Everybody.
That's pretty much it.